What is up, Daddy Gang? It is your founding father, Alex Cooper, with Call Her Daddy.
Alex Warren, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you.
You have had, I was going to say you've had the craziest year, but then I feel like it all started really in COVID for you.
Yeah.
Your life has just been upwards since
For
then.
sure.
It was Hype House to now music,
Yeah.
and you've just blown up into this superstar, and you have this fandom.
Heck yeah.
You're like, yes, keep going, keep going.
Please. I sometimes get extra spread with my in and out too. So
You're so high maintenance.
thank you.
Does it feel real?
It does feel real now. For this last year has felt like a dream, and then I actually got a second to like look back at it, and it does feel like, I guess it's a little shocking, but I guess it feels real now. I don't want to be insufferable and be like, oh.
No. I get it. It's like you can only fathom as much as you can because you're also still living it, and
Right.
you're also still growing, obviously, as an artist and as a person. But it is really cool to see your success.
Thanks.
I also realize I'm welcoming you back to LA
Yes.
because you used to live here, then you moved to Nashville.
Yeah.
What inspired that move?
I technically live I live in Tennessee, not Nashville. I
Okay.
think the city, I don't like major cities anymore.
You're done.
My wife her dream was to have horses. And that was one of the things where I'm from San Diego and I love surfing and everything. So I have a place here that I surf and skateboard and get away after tours and stuff. But, I wanted my wife to have that farm life that she wanted. And it's also nice because I live so far away that no one knows where I live.
Okay,
So it's
but
a
to
mix of
go
both.
from a San Diego surfing kid to
Yeah.
being kind of in the middle of nowhere, what has been like the biggest culture shock for you?
It's so funny. There isn't really a culture shock. San Diego, the only thing is you're not by an ocean. Like San Diego, especially, everyone's nice. You walk around and everyone's greeting you. When I lived here, I went and introduced myself to the neighbors and they were like, why are you introducing yourself?
They're
Who cares?
like, get away from
Yeah,
us.
like if everyone's, this. It's like these houses are next to each other, and I grew up in like the cul-de-sac vibe of everyone knew each other and said hi on walks, and I try to wave at everyone when they're on walks, and they just ignore me here.
That's
So-
actually such a good point. I
Yeah.
grew up on a cul-de-sac too, and I thought that was the norm. Then you get to LA and everyone's like, don't bring me cookies, don't
Dude.
welcome me.
Oh my god.
Like, fuck you.
Right, my wife made sourdough for like everyone in our cul-de-sac, and it was crazy where like we left it on our doorstep when people in LA, and we would go back the next day, it was still there. And here or in Nashville, they'll take it and they'll receive it, and then they'll make you another one. It's really cool.
Are you leaning in? Like, are you wearing cowboy boots?
I've worn boots for a little bit on tour, but that's more of like I stole that from Benson Boone.
Love that.
I still don't look like him. I'm still trying that part. But no, I right now I've just fully embraced that I don't look like I belong there, and it's been nice.
Well, I'm so happy for you guys, and
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy for you. You have new music.
Yeah.
You have an arena tour coming up.
Mhm.
You were recently nominated for your first Grammy.
Thanks.
What has been the most exciting of all of those?
Wow. I think the Grammys was the most exciting. Growing up, I was not a good singer growing up, and especially that I did choir and like I think it was called chorus, and the teacher was like, you should probably try something else. And I would always do talent shows, and no one cared, and all of these kids would make fun of me. And so I think the Grammys, being nominated for a Grammy, was like, oh, cool, like I'm supposed to be doing this.
Can you take me to that moment where you got the phone call and you found out, though, that you were nominated? Like, where were you? What were you wearing? What were you doing?
I totally did not and I mean this when I say this. I did not think I was getting nominated. I think especially I've had a lot of prove in this industry coming from social media. So for that, I was like, oh, like they're gonna show me that I don't belong, and I'm gonna get really sad. My friends, they all flew out and surprised me at my house, and were like, we're gonna watch it together. And I was like, are you crazy? This is the worst. And so I left, and then I came back right in time. Thankfully. And I sat down and they were all filming. And when they said my name, I was the second to last person. And I just remember breaking down and crying. There's a video of it. And I just remember breaking down and crying with my wife. And it was really cool. And then I went and ate sushi.
Okay, so you get to the Grammys.
Yeah.
Who were you the most starstruck by? Because you see it on TV growing up, and then you get in those rooms and you're like, oh, it's real. Like everyone's just rubbing shoulders with everyone, and I'm here.
Yeah, it's a little bit intimidating.
It is.
I think there's these, I don't know. Wow. I met Billie Eilish, which was really, really cool. She's so sweet. I think I go into every room thinking everyone hates me.
No.
So,
Why, Alex?
I don't know. I went into this room and they were very sweet. Chapel Roan came up to me. I had a malfunction during the show, and she came up to me and she was like, dude, like, if anyone understands, it's the people in this room, and you sounded amazing. We'll get into it.
Yes.
Sure. I was down, and I think she could tell, and she came up to my table and was the sweetest ever. And I was like, I love you.
You saying that you walk into a room and you think everyone hates you, is that you think in this industry or in life?
In life. It's funny. It's truly, I don't, if I had a therapist, they'd probably diagnose me with so many different things. I don't know. I was a heavily bullied kid. Like, I got kicked out of parties all the time. And
Parties?
yeah, I would walk into a party because my friends would be invited, and I would walk in and everyone would be like calling me a lot of words that you can't repeat today. And I think it's just because I did social media and I sang. Like, I would sing in bathrooms and at my house, and I would just post them on the internet, and I wanted to do this so badly. And I think you're really lame until you make it in this type of stuff. And so, like, everyone I was not a cool kid. And so as this stuff started happening, Ordinary, I would look for the hate comments. I'd go on Twitter and I'd be like, okay, well, everything's going really well in my life. What could go wrong? And I looked at my name on Twitter, and everyone's calling me these different things. And I was like, so it is true. I'm still this, And so it was just, now I carried on. I think every celebrity has seen my TikToks and thinks I'm just some cringy one-hit wonder. And yeah.
Alex.
It's fine.
No, but it is, like, I guess what is so crazy is how we all internalize, obviously, the focus on ourselves of like what we, and to your credit, like getting kicked out of parties, like being the person that people were always like, get him out of here. We don't want him here. Mm-hmm. That's going to stick with you. But then it also is like, you've evolved and you've grown as a person.
Right.
And sometimes we still have self-beliefs about ourselves that never existed.
Right.
And a lot of people, when you're walking into these rooms, have no idea about your TikToks, but we're our own worst enemies. And so you're walking into these rooms and you're like, oh my God, they must know when I was doing the Renegade. And it's like, no one knew.
Oh God, I get chills thinking about that.
Do you still remember how to do the Renegade?
I never learned it. That was the thing. I was a chubby little, I don't even know what I was. I was behind the camera all the time, and like, that was like, for me, I would film my wife. And I thought I've still to this day think my wife's one of the funniest people ever. And that was my content. I was like, well, I want to show everyone who this woman is. And it started doing really well. And that's why when I started doing music, I was terrified because I was like, they didn't sign up for this. They didn't sign up for me. So all of a sudden I'm like, hey, I make music about my dead parents, and people liked it. And I was shocked. And I was like, wait, people finally like me. Something has to be wrong. And that's when I went to Twitter.
I love how instead of like a lot of people in your position, I feel like would be like, oh my God, people finally like me. I'm going to hold on to this for dear life.
Right.
This is the best feeling in the world. You're like, what's wrong? Who's pranking me?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe
it. The cushion under
literally.
my
Can we go back to the Grammys though? Because you obviously mentioned Chapel's advice, and obviously this was huge. Mm-hmm. People were so excited for you to perform at the Grammys, and then it broke our hearts when we saw you essentially have these technical difficulties during your performance. Now that you've had some time away from that moment, which was such a huge moment for you in your career, how did you feel about that night? Can you just kind of take me through it? Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Clorox Disinfecting Wipes. We all know how good it feels to reset our space, okay? Whether it's actually messy or you're just overwhelmed and you need something in your life that you feel like you can get under control. Sometimes a quick little spring cleaning is the best way to get back on track. And for me, that starts and stops with Clorox Disinfecting Wipes, okay? They are quick and easy. Plus the lemon scent is actually so refreshing and makes your entire house smell so gorgeous. Every time I open a container, it instantly reminds me of my mom. She used these constantly when I was growing up, and our house always smelled so fresh, clean, and amazing. And it just takes me right back to that feeling of everything being taken care of. And here's the thing, I don't need to do a full deep clean to feel the shift. Sometimes it's just the kitchen counter, right? Your bathroom sink, your desk before you start work. A quick wipe down is one of the best ways to reset and lean into spring cleaning energy. Clorox Disinfecting Wipes make it easy to multitask, clean up quickly, and move on with your day, feeling like you're more put together. We're not spiraling over life stresses. We're just spring cleaning our way through them, okay? Thanks to Clorox. Shop Clorox disinfecting wipes now at walmart.com/Clorox wipes. Now that you've had some time away from that moment, which was such a huge moment for you in your career, how did you feel about that night? Can you just kind of take me through it?
I've never talked about this. It was horrifying. We had rehearsed it all week. All week we rehearsed it and it was perfect. It went well. And to this day, I don't know exactly what happened. So the way it works is the medley's happening. So in my ears, I can hear whoever was singing before me, right? Something happened and everything cut out. And they're like 30 seconds. And I said, I can't hear anything. I can't hear myself. And the guy's like, it's live TV, 25 seconds. And I go, guys, something's wrong. Something gets blasted into left ear and right ear. I hear nothing. And I go, guys, I can't hear. And so they start, someone was filming this backstage. Like there's definitely a video that exists. They're messing with my pack, messing with my ears. They're like, it's your ears, it's your ears, it's your pack, it's your pack. 15 seconds, 10 seconds. And in my head, I immediately go, I look up in the sky and I go, this is meant to happen. And I just go, let's do it. And so they can't fix it. They blast it to see if anything is happening. Maybe it's just low. I start singing and all I'm hearing is what's from the other room, like a crowd mic is on or something. And so once I start getting into the hallway, there's this hallway and in the performance, I get the left ear blasting again. And so it's just the left ear, right ear's gone. And in the left ear, it's for anyone who understands audio, it's mono, it's not stereo. So it's blasting and it's not good quality. There's no mix to it. And so all I'm hearing is my voice super loud. I get down to the steps and then immediately I start hearing echoing on the right ear. And so I take it out and then that made it worse stupidly. And so once I get onto stage, I hear and my ear gets a click again and I put it right back in and it's fixed. So I think it was an RF issue. When we rehearsed it, they weren't expecting 20,000 phones to be in and everyone was filming. And so the RF cut it out. And then once I got to the stage, because there's 2 fins, I would assume, once we got to the stage, I got it back.
When this is happening in that very moment, because I didn't realize you had a little bit of panic behind the scenes that we didn't see. Mm-hmm. When you're walking down those steps, did you at all think like, can we stop? Should I just stop this?
Wow. I to be honest, during that part, I'm supposed to be engaging with the audience, by the way. So when I'm walking down, I'm supposed to be like, hey guys, I'm at the Grammys. This is cool. And instead you see pure horror in my eyes. I truthfully was just trying to find the count. And so I did not think, should we stop or anything? Because there was part of me was like, okay, I can't hear myself and then just stop. But imagine what would have happened there. Because the time is slotted. It's live. So it went through my brain as I left the tunnel. Should I stop? But then I thought, then this would be the most awkward social moment in the world where it's just a camera on me standing there crying.
Right. You're like, all right, let's pause. And then you're like,
I just wanted to get over it. And once I got over it, and once we were at the top, come on, I'm terrified of heights. I'm horrified of heights. And that entire time I wasn't thinking about I was in the air. I was thinking, please get me back on time.
Oh, wait, why did you agree to do the heights?
I wanted it to be special.
Okay.
Now I'm realizing it was a bit mega church. I don't know.
I love how you're like, so you had this whole vision for this whole thing and then nothing went as planned.
No.
Okay, Alex, then I can't help but also think like you end the song. What is your immediate dominant emotion in that moment once it finishes?
Don't cry on live television. So I waited until the camera went off on me because I knew that there's a moment where the camera's on me. But I was like holding back tears because I looked to my left and right and everyone was like, you did so good. And everyone's screaming. And I was like, wow, this is like really, really emotional. I get off stage and I just run up the stairs. And there's a little room for change because keep in mind they're announcing the winner right after this. So I have to get to my seat. I have 3 minutes. And they're like, you have to get to your seat. And I'm like, do I have to go out there? Do I have to stay here? And they're like, just stay as long as you think you can. And so they change me. I rush down. I'm wiping my eyes. I sit down and immediately it goes into the nomination for Best New Artist, which I was up for. And immediately I'm like, I'm so destroyed. There's no shot I'm winning this. I just messed that up so bad. And I'm sitting there and Olivia Dean won. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I mean, I was really happy for her. She deserved it 100%. But that was, once that happened, I was like, damn, I want to go home.
So did you have time to cry?
No. So I guarantee you there's videos the whole time. The whole entire Grammys, my head was on my wife's shoulder the entire time. I did not want to look up. I did not want to talk to anybody. And like there was just a few moments, like again, Chapel 100% saw that I was like just distraught, and she came up to me and it was this sweet, like I will never forget how sweet she was because of that. And yeah, it was really bad.
What did your wife say to you when she's
the most supportive person in the world. Like literally, it sucks because I expect it so much that I'm kind of just like, you're just saying that. Like I was like, my career's over. I literally over and over and over again said my career is over.
When you were sitting in the seats with
just
her.
Muddling it out. And I was not entertained. I would watch the Grammys camera guys come up to me and then just move away because they didn't want to do it. Like I was not doing well.
And then when you're sitting also in that seat, I can't help but think you are someone who is obviously so heavily on social media. Your career started on social media. What did you think that people were saying online about you before you got to check your phone?
I deleted everything that night. I deleted Twitter. I was like, there's no way I'm going to do that to myself right now. I'm fully like, that's off my phone. But I was like, you know what? Like I should show people what I went through, what it was. So I filmed the video and I wanted to be like, oh, this is exactly what I heard in my ear. This is what it was like. And I posted it and I threw my phone. And I didn't look. And the next day I checked it and it had 50, 60 million views on the internet.
And everyone was fully supporting you?
Yeah.
How did you pull yourself out of, first you're sitting there saying my career is completely over. How did you pull yourself out of it?
Leve called me. And she called me and she gave me the coolest pep talk in the world. And I think that was like the right room to even do that. Because like, if anyone gets it's musicians. Leve had called me and was just like, I'm so proud of you. You don't realize how many people you just helped. Imagine every kid who goes to or does a talent show, or every kid who does a theater show or does a performance, and this happens to them, and they think, "Wow, this can happen at the Grammys. This can happen." Like I think it gives someone some motivation and know that it's okay and that stuff happens. Well, and so she gave me that pep talk.
I mean, it's a great pep talk because it's also such an indicator of there are things that you cannot control in this world, right? You prepared for it. You rehearsed it. There were no problems in rehearsals. Mm-hmm. You have a beautiful voice. You were ready to go. And then tech failed you. And you're like, oh.
I think it sucks because it wasn't my fault. Like I can live with the fact that like, oh, I messed up. Like I hate the fact that I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I also think for the circumstances that it took me a lot of like, looking at the scenario and watching the video of just like, okay, I did everything I probably could have.
You really did. Were there any other celebrities other than Chapel that came up to you?
Noah Khan. Noah came up to me and Noah and I have just been friends in passing. Like we always just run into each other, and he lives in Tennessee. And so like we literally will run into each other like at a supermarket or whatever. And he comes up to me and he's the sweetest boy. I love him so much. He was really kind. Billy was really, really sweet. And I'm obsessed with Alex Wolf, and he was really sweet.
I feel like those are the perfect people that came up to you. Also, why do I feel like Noah Khan? I'd just be like, can you just hug me? Right? Like, he's so cozy.
I got a hug, and he was very cozy.
Okay, good.
That beard is very nice.
Perfect. So it made you feel
groomed, if you think about it.
Love that. So it made you feel better.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should call her a friend or a colleague, was also at the Grammys with you, Miss Addison Rae.
Yes.
I think it was so fun to see the internet just freaking out that the fact that these two people who started on TikTok were both at the Grammys together. Yeah. I know that you FaceTimed her when you guys found out you both got the nominations.
Yeah.
What was that conversation like, and kind of that full circle moment like?
I'm an emotional wreck, I guess. Like I really am. I FaceTimed everyone, and Addison was the first to pick up, and she was just like, it was the same thing. We were on cloud nine. None of us, I think, were expecting it. And so the fact that it happened was really, really cool. She, of course, was in some huge fur coat somewhere with snow behind her in the middle of I think it was November. I don't remember exactly, or September. I was like, what is happening? And she's like, it's faux. I was like, no, I believe you. But it's crazy that like, it's just this whirlwind, right? Like like you said, we're both 19 years old when we met, and we're filming these videos. I think 18 even.
Were you guys close back then?
I wouldn't say so. I would say like as close as you can, you live with these people, right? And so, but it was weird during Hype House. It was very much like a hierarchy, and especially because I wasn't a good-looking fuckboy, who made thirst traps, I was at the bottom of the pole. And so not a lot of people even knew I was in the Hype House. And I was fine with that. I loved that. I wanted to be a musician. When we created Hype House, I even said, I don't want to be attached to this in any way. I just want to make music. And so that was how it was. And then things obviously went on. But she was always we were always friends.
And then do you think you guys ended up getting closer as you guys almost left the Hype House?
I think everyone got closer after.
Why do you think?
It was so... Everyone told everyone that you were special. Everyone every day was like, you're the next this. You're so hot. You're going to be this. You're more famous than this person. Or you suck. You're not this. You're not that. And like, it was a very weird place where like, you know, you had a video do really well that day. And so you were awesome. And then the next day or 2 days later, maybe you're going through something. We were 19-year-old kids, 20-year-old kids. Like we were doing whatever. And, you know, you have personal things. My mom died and I was like, this is happening here. And I think it was just like a weird thing where it's like, okay, well, that person is going to start staying over there and we're not going to invite that person out to dinner because of this. And like, this person's doing really well right now. So after, I think everyone just was like, fuck, I need a break.
Right. It's almost like you allowed all of the competitive dynamics to kind of dissipate. And then you could just look at each other being like, wow, we have this shared experience. Right. And I now have such empathy for all of us.
Right.
If there is someone who, for some reason, is watching this and does not know what the Hype House is, first of all, does that make you happy or sad?
I think it makes me happy.
Okay.
I
and
think
a little
it makes
sad.
me happy. I think the beginning of Hype House, it would make me sad. I think that it was clinged onto for so long that it was kind of like, what the fuck is this turning into?
So can you explain to someone who is not familiar what the Hype House was?
It was a group of 17 to 21-year-olds where all of us, and this concept was so foreign, was just a bunch of kids started renting a mansion together. And keep in mind, none of us could afford shit. So like these houses weren't furnished. And that was like the thing. So like we would film in these empty mansions that were not furnished. And imagine you and all your friends during your college years decided to go rent a frat house that was fully empty, but really nice. And your job was to film thirst traps and I don't even know. You're like, that was like, you had to make up a job. One day you woke up and you go, what do I want my job to be today? I'm going to look at my camera and bite my lip and do this. And that all of a sudden you could buy Lamborghinis. That was that.
Wait, and you guys actually were the ones that were funding the house, or were there like random agents and managers that were paying and then taking a percentage?
It depended on the month.
Okay.
Like it really did. Like it depended on the month of like what was innovative at that time because there was not a thing like that. And so every single month we'd get like someone would come down and say like, hey, by the way, now you have to film 10 TikToks per month if you want to live here. And then the next month it was, hey, you got to film 4 TikToks and shout out this energy drink and you can live here. And it was like very much like, oh, cool, you get to live in this house, you get to live rent free. And then all you have to do is make these videos. It was fucking the best gig ever.
Can you describe your experience living in the Hype House in 3 words?
Jesus. I don't want to like make it like it was great.
No, it was great. It was great.
Fun. Dramatic. This is the synopsis of my biography, by the way. And rewarding. I would not be here without it.
I love how traumatic just sits like right.
It's
in
right
the
there.
middle.
And it's like if you put like you divided it, traumatic here and that's there.
What age do you think you guys would be down for a reunion? Because I feel like you guys like need a little distance.
Wow. I don't know if some members would ever be down. I think depending on who you are, like Charlie, like I don't think Charlie should ever do that. I think Charlie she was so young and like, especially Cover was so protective of her. And it's really, I don't know, like that girl's been through a lot.
A lot.
Everyone saw Charlie, and especially when she did really well and was just like, oh, let me go film with her. And like, I felt like that was such a transactional fucking weird thing. And probably not.
Yeah. Probably not the healthiest.
Probably shouldn't.
Maybe one day. Maybe when you're like 60.
We go to the zoo. It's our favorite.
Perfect. Okay, we're going to do quick rapid fire to close out Hype House.
Okay, cool. Oh, God.
Okay. You're like, cool. And then you're like, wait, traumatic again.
No, let's do it.
Okay. What was the most reckless thing you ever did for a video?
Oh, we were playing hide and go seek tag, and I hid in a helicopter.
Okay. Was it just casually sitting outside of the Hype House?
Yeah, it was on the driveway.
This is like very indicative of the times. The fact
Yeah.
that there's just casually a helicopter sitting out front of okay.
100%.
What's the most embarrassing thing you ever posted on the internet?
Oh my God, I deleted a lot of them.
You did?
Yeah.
Couldn't you monetize that though?
I don't care. I do not care. I don't want my kids saying that.
Wait, give me an example.
I just a lot of the. Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. Wait, what is an example? What's the most embarrassing?
Like embarrassing video you posted on the internet.
There's a video that a friend of mine, or Dixie would dress. She would dress in clothing, and then I asked to borrow her clothing so I could dress like that, and realizing that I did not look good in a thong, so I deleted that. I probably look great now, but just back then I didn't.
Yeah.
It's a bit scarring.
I'm just trying. I'm not trying to picture it.
No,
I'm just trying to. Yeah. Okay.
I could sell that later.
That's good. That's good. It's in your drafts now.
Yeah, it's somewhere there.
It's okay.
My wife it's her wallpaper, but it's fine.
Cooper, we love you.
Yeah.
Who in the Hype House at the time was the most annoying?
The most annoying. Is there like a shot that I could drink besides answer that question? The most annoying. I want to be honest, so I'm trying to think. I think the most annoying person had to be Vinny.
Okay.
And it's because Vinny's so good looking and didn't try. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he's just coming around.
No, but the guy eats burgers. Like, that's the thing. Like, he eats the amount of money that man spent on Taco Bell alone. And then he'd be like, yeah, I just have a six-pack. I'm like, fuck off.
So you're sitting there looking at these guys and you're like,
do you know how badly I wish I could have done that? Are you joking? Are you kidding?
You're like, I didn't want to put on the thong.
No, that's what I'm not kidding. Every day I would watch what these guys ate, trying to replicate it, thinking that, like, I swear I have like an underlying eating disorder after living with these guys. All they ate was Taco Bell. Every goddamn meal was Taco Bell. Like, I was keto. I was Ozempified. I was on everything, and I couldn't lose the weight. And these guys were fucking stuffing Taco Bell and smoking weed 30 times a day. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's really fucking annoying.
Playing video games.
Okay. What is the craziest rumor that spread online during that time?
Oh, everything. I remember, like, 'cause paparazzi, that was real. Like, I bet a lot of them called paparazzi, but I would wake up half naked. And remember, like, there was the Hype House that was with all glass, and I would look out the window and there's 400 kids waiting there trying to get pictures with whoever, and paparazzi there. And I don't even remember the question. I'm so traumatized by this.
No. What was the craziest rumor that was like spread online at that time? You're like, I'm waking up naked in a glass house.
Sorry, you're just unlocking
400
memories.
people.
I don't even know. I think a lot of the time it was like people would like screenshot shit and like just make up things that like I was not, like I was texting other girls or stuff like that. And I was like, have you guys looked at me? Like I'm questioning what my wife sees in me. You think I'm gonna go find someone that's naked? It was just like a weird thing where like I think everyone especially was just trying to like tear you down, which I get it. I looking back at it, it was a weird fucking time.
It was so. Do you remember Saddle Ranch?
Oh my God, I was there the other day.
Why?
I was there, the Grammy after party. I was across the street and I looked over and I was like, wow, that's fucking crazy.
Oh my God, you were at Sunset Tower?
Yes. What is that place?
No.
What is that
You've
place?
You've moved up. You used to be at Saddle Ranch. Now you're at Sunset Tower.
I would watch all the cool kids go to Sunset Tower as I was answering, paparazzi questions in front of Saddle Ranch. And I'd be like, I want to go there. And it was like, you couldn't go.
Well, now you're there, Alex.
I'm really not. I'm like waiting outside.
You are. You were nominated for a Grammy. Shut up. Last one. What is the most money you ever spent on a video?
Oh, if it wasn't my own money, it was branded money. It was like $75,000.
Oh, wow.
And keep in mind, I was homeless. So like that is like wanting to keep that money was such a thing where I just didn't want to even post the video. But it was like I had signed a deal saying I will spend the money that I was given for the video, right? Or like you get credit for things.
I see.
And like,
what was the video?
It was like something in Target or not Target. It was I had to buy like a bunch of inflatable stuff to do like a thing where I surprised the whole house inside of it with like a water park and all these different things. And this was the budget to spend on the video for the brand. And I remember at that time I had not made any money yet. And when they sent me the credit, I wanted to keep that money so badly and I spent it all. I didn't get. I literally. I was betting on the monetization, and that video got demonetized.
Oh, and you're like, motherfucker.
Do you know how many times I wish I saved that money?
But now you know, and
Yeah.
you learned your lesson.
I did.
But there was a lot of money floating around at that time.
Too much. And especially like you have to think like a lot of us at that time, like I was a 19-year-old kid. I was homeless at 18. Like that was right after. And I'd never seen that much money ever. And it hits your bank account. You have to spend it.
Can we talk about that for a minute? Because I'm thinking about you talking about how you're living in this house that is this glass mansion. And yes, some people were saying, you know, it was a dream, and you're saying it was a dream, but it feels like it clearly had a little bit more weight to you because you were homeless before moving into the hype house.
Right.
Your mom had kicked you out. Can you, for anyone who's not familiar, can you just like tell that story?
Dad passed away when I was 9 of cancer. My mom spiraled ever since then. I mean, rightfully so. Single, 4 kids, right during the recession, left with nothing. And she just didn't want to live anymore. And so she just drank and drank and drank, just trying to kill herself. And as time went on, I realized it was a problem. And I would, I was a kid, I didn't know, but I would just call her out. And I would pour it out. I thought, my mom's supposed to be perfect. What are you doing? And I would just dump it out everywhere. And I became enemy number 1 for my mom. I was the reason why she was drinking all of a sudden. And it gave her a sense of, oh, I need to drink to deal with this. And so, as time went on, I think once I turned 18, it was like that day on my birthday, she kicked me out and I couldn't take anything except for what I owned. And at that time, it was a camera and a computer. And so I started sleeping on my friends' couches and sleeping on in cars. And that's when I started filming with the camera and editing with the computer. And that's when I started doing well.
Do you have siblings?
I do, yeah.
Did they stay with your mom?
They did. My older sister is a lot older, so she was in college and didn't really understand the scope of things. My older brother was a Marine, and so he was not home. And then my youngest sister was too young to understand. I think she was just like, I think everyone growing up thinks your parents are perfect, and it hadn't hit her yet. And once I left, it started hitting her, and she was like, I need to get the F out of here. And eventually my uncle took her out of it. But it's always, I always get the questions like, what did your siblings do? Why wouldn't they were never there?
I've had a lot of conversations with friends or people on my show where like it's so weird when you talk to your siblings about trauma or even just childhood in general, and you have such a different experience than siblings. And I think sometimes it's hard for people to fathom that, because you're like, what do you mean you were under the same roof? But it's like, you really can have such a different experience with a parent than your sibling. And to eventually come to terms with that is weird. Like, have you and your sister been able to talk about your childhood?
So interesting. It's like I have a camera on me. I literally talked to my sister about this like a week ago. There's a lot of unresolved tension. I think it's just like, I don't know what she went through. She was so much older than me. She remembers my dad way more than I do. And I don't know what my siblings went through. All I know is they all somewhat got it. Like the moment I moved out, I remember my mom had just been wailing on me, just punching me on the ground. And I had never hit back ever. I just don't believe in that. And so I'm sitting there taking these punches to the face. And I remember my brother, he just got home from the military, walks out, hears it and sees it. And he just puts her in a chokehold and backs up and says, you're not doing that anymore. And I remember just then and there running out of the house. My brother ran out with me, and I was sleeping at a friend's house, and she had figured it out, called the cops and said I hit her. And so it was just this whole thing of like, thankfully I had my brother to corroborate what actually happened, or else I would have gotten picked up. But like my mom was like that. And that was like a really crazy thing.
Very crazy, because I also remember I read somewhere you had said that your mom was the greatest woman in the world when she wasn't drinking, but the problem was she struggled with alcoholism every single day. Yeah. Like, how did you reconcile those two complete different versions of her, because you had experienced her without it?
My mom would drink at 5 a.m. and sleep all day. So she would start drinking at like 3 or 4 a.m., stay up all the way to take us to school. And then she would sleep all day from there and consistently miss us from picking up, at school, but then would be alive and well at like 8 p.m. So around that time, I knew there was a window where like, my mom drunk would like write suicide letters and then show me it and go, I just wrote this suicide letter and I'm telling everyone it was your fault. And then literally that same day at 8 p.m., it would be, I just want you to know you're my favorite son. And like she would be so kind and so genuine and like want to like cuddle and like watch a movie and like spend family time. Let's go out, or on New Year's Eve, let's bang the pots out back. And like that was like all of a sudden like from, you knew a window, right? But then all of a sudden, I think I turned 15 and that window just never existed anymore. And it just became her.
Have you been able to, in processing like the loss of your mother and time away from it, like tried to wrap your head around like where you think the like vitriol and hateful moments towards you came from in her most painful moments?
And I figured this out. I think I have it figured out. My mom was so, I misunderstand my mom so much. My mom was so in love with my dad, that she could not imagine a world living without him. And so she didn't. She just survived. She did enough. Like she died right when all of us left. Like my little sister was the last to go, and once she knew she was taken care of, she died. And truly, that entire time, I don't think my mom cared about having kids. I think my mom cared about having kids with my dad. And once that disappeared, it was just, okay, I hate this. I hate my life. I hate my kids. I hate the things that I'm in. And I don't think she meant it in that way, but I truly just don't think that she wanted to live anymore. And so she did what she had to do to survive, and that was to drink her life away. But I could never put myself in that position. I could never be there and try and imagine that, just because like imagine having 4 kids, your husband of your life, and a recession hits. He dies. You're in over your head in medical debt. You have no money to your name. You're $300,000 to $400,000 in debt. And now all of a sudden you've never had a job, and all of a sudden you have to just live. I couldn't.
It's also so hard too, because when you then now are becoming an adult and you're married, and I know you earlier referenced like maybe one day having kids, like all of these things you become really like cognizant of like what you would want to do differently. And you're kind of talking about how now you have perspective on your mother. Like before she passed, were you able to reconcile at all with her?
No, and that's the many regrets I have. I remember, I don't know what spawned this. I was driving and I literally was like, my biggest fear is dying alone. And I don't know why I started thinking about that. And I was like, wow, dying alone, I could not imagine. And I started thinking about my mom, and I said, she has no one. I mean, like, there's no one there to even help her take the trash out. So I texted her, and I was like, hey, just thinking about you, wanted to send you this picture, and, you know, whatever. And never delivered. And it turns out that she was already pretty much dead. And I was like, fuck. Like, that's like, I remember going to the hospital, and she was just, they tell you she can hear you, but she's yellow. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but someone dying from liver failure is probably top fucking 5 worst things to see. And they don't look like a human. They look like a zombie. They're yellow and purple, and they've no hair, and their hair's all white because it couldn't survive. And so you're seeing this, and there's something called the death breath. That's the most fucking horrifying thing in the world, where it's like you think it's the last breath, and it's like and then it keeps going, and that was but that was something where I think we all had a moment where we were like, we forgive you, and everyone left the room, and I sat there, and I'm just like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry I let you, but I'm so sorry that I felt a sense of responsibility. I felt like the thing is, like, say what you want that my mom did. Like, I am a son. I should have, like, whatever she did. And it could be anything. And I think, like, yes, some people could say, like, oh, well, you didn't deserve, it doesn't matter. I am her son. I can't imagine what it's like dying alone, not knowing anything. And I remember the last text she ever sent me before, and I stupidly didn't respond. The last text she sent me was, I have a problem. I'm going to AA. Something else. And she died. She either knew something was wrong and she tried to fix it and it was too late, or she tried to fix it and she died trying.
Oh my God. I mean, Alex, like, even hearing you talk about this, there's so many layers of, you have guilt. You obviously made an attempt to repair it with your mother. You both, which is so relatable, kind of reached out to the other person, and the other one wasn't ready to accept it or willing to accept it at the time. But you both had the same intention. You both were genuinely you loved each other and you weren't able to show that, whether it was because of the illness she was experiencing or the anger that you had for her, and you're getting physically abused. So it's like at some points, of course, you should remove yourself from a situation. You shouldn't be there with open arms.
Yeah.
But when she passed, I can't help but also think like you were alone for a lot of your life, right? When she was alive, you were surviving and it felt like you were alone because you didn't have a mother and you didn't have your father. And then when she passed, you were physically, literally alone. How did both of those versions feel different?
I think when she was alive, it fueled me of, I'm going to prove this person wrong. My entire life, my mom told me that I wouldn't be a singer. It just wasn't going to happen. I suck. I sound bad. You need to go to college and get a degree because you need to do it this way. It's never going to happen. Those people aren't like you. So when this happened, I wanted to so badly be like, I did it. Fuck you. And I think now I did it and I miss you. And I think that's the hard part is like, I think I was insecure and I didn't understand it. And now it's kind of like, fuck, dude, I wish I could like tell you, like my friend just had a kid and she's learning how to ride a bike. And there's this thing he was explaining to me the other day of like, it's so cool. It's like this person, she started riding a bike and she looked back and she says, look, mom and dad, I did it. And the thing with the Grammys and all these different things is it really, I wanted to look back and say, fuck yeah. Like my dad would do these talent shows and he was so, and this is what makes me excited for kids is I can't wait to be what my dad was for me. Is a supportive person that no matter what, like it was just, you can do it. Like he was fighting cancer and waking up every morning just to give us these experiences just because he knew it was limited. And to be able to do that for my kids and be able to be supportive and show them that you can do anything. And I think I'm a testament to that. Like this entire time and the things I've gone through, to be able to play at the Grammys and be nominated for a Grammy with everything that I've gone through as I feel like you cannot prove to anyone that it's not possible if you look at that.
Oh, completely. Like I think the amount that you survived throughout your childhood and the adversity that you had to overcome, you shouldn't have had to go through it, but it only prepared you more for this chaotic fucking industry that you've now walked into. Do you feel safe now?
Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. That's a loaded fucking question. Jesus. I am. Yeah. My career is a perfect example. I think where I am in my career right now, I think a good amount of people have gotten to, and I've also watched it just go down, and I think that's part of me is like, I'm such in a fight or flight moment that like, I don't ever want, I was homeless with my wife. I know exactly what that's like. And as much fun as I had with my wife, I never want to do that again. I want to have kids and I want to give them the life I never had. Like I want to be able to be there for my kid, which means I want to keep doing this. I want to keep touring. I want to be able to provide for a child and be able to be present in their life, which I feel like is a privilege and a luxury that not a lot of people have. I didn't have that. And so I'm probably one of the most not in the moment person ever because of it. I'm constantly thinking, okay, how do I do this? How do I do that to make sure that I don't go back to this? And every time a song might not do well or I suck at a performance, I'm beating myself up about it because I'm so scared that either my mom's opinion is right or that I will go back to where I was.
Right. You're like constantly in survival mode.
Right.
You're constantly on the edge of like, I could lose it all.
I mean, the Grammys is a perfect example. I sat there the entire time saying my career's over.
And do you think it's going to just take you continuing to live experiences like the Grammys? And then guess what? You're sitting here today. You've got a new song out. Like everything is okay.
I fucking hope so.
You're like, I'll let you know.
That song's out. It could go all downhill for all I know. I don't think I'll ever get out of this.
Okay, we're going to work on it. Just a little bit. Next time I see you, you're going to be like, okay, hopefully. Maybe.
No, I've done a lot. Like, I have an amazing wife. I have an amazing career. I make music that I absolutely fucking love. I do what I love. Like I get to play arenas. Like that's fucking nuts. I I have amazing friends, like where I am today. And also I'm healthy. I love what I do. I work out, I exercise. I'm quite literally the happiest I've ever been. And I'm able to say I'm happy with who I am today. It took me so long to do that though.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Tinder. Ladies, we all have the group chat that goes into high alert when someone has a date. You're sending outfit options, maybe the restaurant menu to strategically plan your order, and you're dropping his profile one last time for final group chat approval. Then the second that date is over, you're basically hosting your very own podcast in the car home, sending a 12-minute voice memo recap of literally everything that went down. So it's like your best friends were right there with you. That's the exact energy behind the new Tinder double date. You don't have to wait for the post-date debrief because you're already sitting next to your best friend reacting in real time. Instead of going into a first date alone, you and your best friend match with another pair to meet up together. So now you're there, you're observing, taking mental notes, making eye contact across the table, maybe kicking each other underneath the table, just like feeling things out. You know what I mean? The pressure is way lower and the whole thing feels way less like an interview and more like another fun night out. Double date is about getting to experience dating side by side from your first impressions to the immediate recap. Maybe it turns into a second date, or maybe it's just a chaotic night that you'll be laughing about for years. Either way, you are in it together. Dating is just better when your best friend is a part of it. Try the new Tinder double date. It starts with a swipe. Download Tinder today. Okay, let's talk about relationships. You
Awesome.
said in an perfect.
Yeah.
You said in an interview that before you got married, you were notoriously cheated on. What was happening?
Right? Because I have to be the problem. That's exactly what I thought.
No.
No, I had a really good looking friend, and he was my best friend, and he's still really one of my close friends. I talk to him all the time. Very good looking. Every time I dated a girl, the test was to bring him around because he was notorious for stealing my girlfriends.
This is your best friend?
Oh yeah, we weren't friends after the last one, but he was notorious for trying to get with my girlfriends, or he was very attractive, and there was something about it, but he would just it's
and you stayed friends with him after
look,
multiple.
I'm a very forgiving person, Alex. It's just a thing.
I'm like, wait, so this happened multiple times?
I didn't realize until the last one. But
Okay,
yes, I had an intuition. Anyway, I was driving with this girl. She was texting him, and they were sending like hearts and saying like a lot of shit. And I was just like, it's cool. I'm 17, 18, so it's pretty. Like I've been dating my wife since I was 18, so a lot of these are elementary relationships.
Of course.
Of like, oh my god, you cheated on me with Bradley on the swing set. But no, it was just 4 or 5 times I think that I was like, these people are texting other people or actually hooking up with other people while I'm with them. And I was just a hopeless romantic. So every time I would get cheated on or broken up with, I would go to a piano and go, why me? Why are you doing this to me? Like it was bad.
And then you'd be like, okay, I'm over it. And then you'd go to the next person, and then it kept happening. And eventually you found Cooper.
Yeah.
Okay, can we go back to the first time you saw your wife was someone else's Snapchat story?
Yes, it's a modern day love story.
It is so romantic.
Thank you.
And you said that you immediately were interested when you saw her on this story. What was it about her that caught your eye?
She wasn't wearing any makeup, and she wasn't trying, and she was sleeping, and keep in mind, she still sleeps to this day. I'll go surfing in the morning, and she finds the comfiest rock to lay on, and she'll fall asleep. And I'll literally be out in the break, and I look in, and she's like, I know she's sleeping like this. Like she'll just sleep wherever. She's so good at falling asleep places. But she was just like, she looked just naturally beautiful without trying. And if you look that beautiful without trying, I bet you look beautiful all the time. So
who is filming your wife back then sleeping?
My friend, she had moved to Hawaii and became roommates with Cooper.
Okay.
And so they were always like fucking with each other.
Not
and they
creepy.
both had really box-dyed blonde hair. And so this woman who was tan as hell because she's from Hawaii has this box-dyed white hair. And I was like, this is the hottest woman I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh my God. Okay, so how did you guys end up talking? Like, how did you initiate?
We were Snapchatting back and forth. They put me in contact. She had a boyfriend at the time, and I was like, I don't fuck with that. I don't do that shit. And so whatever. It was like a week or two, and they ended up not working. And she started talking to me, and she's like, oh, like, whatever. She flies out to San Diego with this friend, because this friend's also from my hometown. And I remember she walks out of the baggage claim, and everyone looks like they're wearing the Hawaiian shirt, very very touristy, and this girl wearing a bright yellow t-shirt, tanner than shit, with white hair comes running out, and I go, that's my wife. And I had waited, so for 4 to 5 months we were long distance without ever seeing each other. And she comes out, and I had never said I love you, and she was texting me I love you or love you, and so apparently love you and I love you are different, but we'll get
Wait, so the first time that you guys physically meet in person is she flies to San Diego to meet you?
Yes. I see her, and I had been waiting to say I love you. I run up to her like a movie, I kiss her, and I go, I love you. It's the first thing out of my mouth. Yeah. And then
did she say back?
Duh.
Okay.
And then I took her to In-N-Out, and then we had our first night together in a Motel 6 that I borrowed $75 from my friend to buy. Except that at the time, I'm homeless.
Did she know you were homeless?
Not yet.
Okay.
That night she found out.
So you were explaining the Motel 6, and
we were at In-N-Out,
oh.
and I was like, we were with a group of friends, and then she's like, well, where are we staying tonight? And that's when I said I got us a place. And then we went to a Motel 6. Keep in mind, this entire time, I'm thinking that this woman is about to bail on me because this is not romantic. This is fucking horrible. And I looking back, I'm a piece of shit for this. But we went, and I was like, I'm sorry, this is what it is. And I explained it, and she's like, fuck it, let's do it.
So her reaction was just like, you know what? Here we go. Here we are.
Fuck it, let's do it, was her exact words.
Although you were so excited to say you loved her in the airport, there must have been some
Terror. I was horrified, but I wanted, if this was going to be the only 6 hours I ever get with this girl that I've literally fallen in love with, I want to show her how much I love her. So this entire time we went to In-N-Out. She wanted to try it for the first time, and I knew this hack that you could get a burger in a water cup, and then if you got fries, but you added it a certain way, it was $4.38. Things have changed, obviously, with inflation. But that was what it was, and I knew I could afford it, so I had a $5 bill. We shared a burger. And my friend, all of our friends, because I didn't have a car, and we had stayed in a motel, and then later the next day we slept in that same car.
I started in a long distance relationship as well,
Really?
and I think that there's something really, doesn't sound sexy and beautiful, but there is something really amazing about it because it really forces you to just talk and talk and talk and FaceTime, and you get to really know each other well. Like, what do you think though in those 4 months without being physically together? What was it that made you know that you were so in love with her and you were ready to tell her?
We would be on FaceTime without even talking. Like, we would just not talk. And I would fall asleep with my phone as if we were sleeping together. And she would be falling asleep. And so I'd wake up some days we were still on FaceTime. And it was in fact, like, it was 3 a.m. obviously, but like, I was just always like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even live with this woman, and I want to spend every waking moment with her. I would FaceTime her with friends. I was that guy who people were like, dude, get the fuck off your phone, and I couldn't not talk to her. I was toxic probably, right. But like that's the thing.
Right. You were really into it. And but then you somehow managed to kind of keep it like, I'm not telling her that I'm fully living out of my car right now.
I'm starting to realize I'm kind of a red flag.
No.
Like, this is like, this
well,
is what
she's
this
down
is
there, isn't she? So she can attest. Like, you turned out okay.
I'm
and
okay.
so far the marriage is going well, right?
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Okay, so perfect.
I've never been better.
You get married at 23.
Yes.
Which for some people's standards is pretty young.
Yeah.
How did you know you were ready for that big step?
My dad, before he passed, one of the few things I remember is he said, make sure you love the woman that you're marrying. And he, for some reason, would always say 5 years was his thing. He would always say 5 years. And I was like, the moment I met Cover, I knew that I wanted to marry her, but I knew I was really immature. And like you said, I had red flags. I wanted to make sure that through hype house, through everything, that if I'm going to marry this person, I can provide for this person. If I'm going to marry this person, and keep in mind, I didn't have that when we started living in a car. I wanted it to be able to do that, you know? I wanted to make sure that I was emotionally and mentally mature enough to be able to be a good husband. And I wanted to make sure that, 'cause especially after marriage comes kids, I wanted to make sure I was ready to be a father. And so like, that was the biggest thing for me, was like, you know, I grew up really quickly, and I started to live out like my childhood days, or like be a little bit immature when I was like 21, where I was just like figuring out what kind of man I wanted to be. And so I really wanted to make sure that I had that out of just like, I don't want to be married, starting to have kids and I mean, we were always practically married, but like just doing the whole thing, I want to make sure I could give her a grand wedding and be able to have her family come out and do everything. And when the timing made sense, it happened.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's really, it's beautiful to hear like how it started to then obviously the wedding and everything and where you guys are
She
now.
hated it. She wanted to get married like 2 years in. And I was like, trust me, it'll all make sense.
But that's sweet that you weren't rushing and you were like slow playing it because you're like, I need time.
Right.
What do you think, would you say is her best quality as a partner?
I would say that her creativeness just in general, I'm so infatuated with it, but B, she's such a provider. Like I'll be like in a session and she'll bring everyone home cooked meals. Or like every night when I do sessions, like if everyone comes to my house for a studio, because I have a studio at my house, she'll be like, okay, here's for dinner for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And she has these horses and she she has everything kind of planned out where, you know, oh, like nothing's impossible to my wife. And it's the coolest fucking thing in the world. She built my half pipe. So I grew up skateboarding and I was like, wow, I really want a half pipe. And she's like, oh, buy it. And so I bought it and it came in lumber, obviously. And she goes, cool, I'm going to build it. I said, what? And she's like, I'm going to build it. I don't know how, but I really want to learn. And so she did that. And then we had bought in our first home and she's like, cool, I want to build a rock wall. And so she went and got brick and mortar and literally figured out, and I have photos on my phone of her on a scaffolding with knee pads and goggles with a paint machine. And she's learning how to paint walls. And she built every single bedroom in my house with wood to make this cool, like,
Damn.
Dude, she wanted to make the art. So she made all the art. She does my tattoos. She learned how to do tattoos. Like all of this is her. And so like nothing, my wife is impossible at saying I can't do that.
Wow. That's really admirable.
Dude, it's the coolest shit. I quite literally trust my wife. If she really wants to, she can do anything.
That is a beautiful quality to have as a human being and really inspiring. I can't also help but think about, you know, when you meet and then the Hype House era begins and you guys, so much of your relationship started online and then has continued to be online. Like, was there ever a time that the internet got in the way or caused problems in your relationship?
100%. Like, I think that was again where I was as like, for me back when I was like 21, 22 years old, not 22, like 19 to 21 was the 3 years where I was just like looking back at it, I was just like, oh, I want to get the clip. Like I got so infatuated with the fact that I need to make sure I'm never homeless again that I started to just be like, we need to film this. We need to film that. To the point where I was like, I'm not even taking her out on dates because I'm like so focused on getting a video. Like we'd go out on a date and I'm like, oh, we should film this TikTok or whatever the hell. And like, so for me at least, I was like, okay, I need to be, if I want to marry this woman and I need to get my fucking act together. And that was right when I started music and just like kind of becoming who I am today.
Okay.
I think with Ordinary, I was so like, this is the first thing that's ever gone really, really well. And I want to really lean into this. And I was touring for the first time. And that was really difficult for us as a couple because it was like, I've been with you for 5 or 6 years and we've never spent a night apart ever since we started sleeping together, like, you know. And so all of a sudden I have to say goodbye to you for 8 months. And so she's been going on tours and we've been finding a really great medium. It's so fun having her on tour. She brings the dogs and she cooks and it's the coolest thing in the world. I just need to get better at dates. Like that's the one thing where I'm like,
come on, Alex.
I know.
Let's pop it up. Let's think of a good date night.
I know, but every time we plan a date night, we look at each other and we go, should we just watch a movie and
okay,
make
that's
pasta?
fair.
Like that's the thing.
What if next date night, even if she's out doing something, you just make the house a date night?
See, that's sick. And I've thought of that.
Like you can do that.
I know.
Because I'm the same way. I'm like, oh my God, a date night is so much better when you're just at home and you're cozy.
I just don't want her to try. Like, I don't want her to do anything.
But you need to try.
I know.
I know. Alex.
I know. No,
okay.
I know.
Some flowers and candles.
Every time I just write like a really like depressing love song about her. And I'm like, look. And she's like, fuck her. Take me out to eat, asshole. And it's like,
oh, no, you know what's so funny? It's like Cover has like the dream life where like a guy is writing you these like gorgeous songs, but she's like, I get that every day.
Right.
Let's go.
She's like, it's fine. You said that 9 different fucking times. Can we go eat some fucking fettuccine Alfredo?
Okay.
Like,
take the girl to get some fettuccine Alfredo. When you do, post it on your story so we all know.
I know.
And tag me.
I will.
Okay, your vows.
Yes.
Have over 13 million likes. And I think everyone cried watching them. Everyone was like so obsessed when you post them, obviously. When you look back at that day, like what was the most important thing that you really wanted to convey to Covert in those vows?
I will never write anything as good as those. And that was fully the night before. I was so cocky going into it. I was like, I'm a songwriter. I can easily write these vows. 11 p.m. it starts, and there's the cursor that's blinking on docs, and it's literally to cover, or I say cover, and it's how it starts. And I blink, and it's 3 a.m. Nothing, not a single fucking vow, not a single word has been written, because I couldn't fathom, how am I supposed to sum up the fact that this woman changed my life into a page and say it in front of all of our friends and family. And so I was freaking out. My friend at the time, he was still up working, and he's like, step away from the fucking computer and tell me about her. And I just start talking, and I just literally just start blubbering like everything that I feel about this woman. And he's like, write it down. He's like, write that down. He's like, write that down. That's good. Write that down. And I blink, and it's just that's what the vows were. It was just me not thinking and talking about my wife. And I just wanted to, like, it's hard to explain. I say all these things on here, and I say, oh, my wife slept in a car with me. And people probably, if I was people, I'd probably listen and be like, all right, dude, shut the fuck up. But truly, like, this woman dropped out of college to sleep in a car with some 18-year-old dumbass who didn't tell her and was like, I'm homeless and I want to be a singer. And this girl goes, that sounds like I want to do that. Like, how do you sum that out of like, oh, this woman is an angel who saved my life?
No, it was meant to be.
And so when I read it, I couldn't bear. I knew it was right, because every time I tried to read it, I couldn't stop crying. So after I wrote it, I never read it again. I wrote it down in a notebook, which I ended up reading during the ceremony, and I never read it before I went on. And I just said it.
In the vows, you say she saw something in you that you didn't see in yourself. What were you referring to? My
wife sees the good in so many people that it ends up hurting her. And that is something with me that I'm like, stop, but at the same time, I love you for it. She just sees so much good. And in me, at least, I think that there's a lot of brokenness, especially when I met her. Like, my mom, she was alive for Cover. And my mom was a horrible person to Cover. Terrible. Enough to give anyone a reason to leave that. And she understood everything. She understood. She handled it with so much grace and so much decorum that I was like, wow. How can you handle that? And so it's just, to me at least, that was when I was thinking about, when I was writing that, I was like, you put up with so much bullshit, so much of my bullshit, so much of my selfishness, so much of, to go through whatever that was, the hype house, and who I was during that, to now a music career where I'm fully traveling all the time and singing and talking about us and all these things, kind of laying it all out for people like that. I can't. Yes, it's great, but all at the same time, there's so many cons to that.
Yeah, you guys have. That's even you just saying that, of like, I was just thinking about it. Like, one, as hard as it, I'm sure, was that your mom treated Cover that way, there's also something so beautiful that she got to meet her. Yeah. So you are able to sit with her, and when you talk about it, she's like, oh no, I get it. Right. I was there, I lived it with you. But then you're right, like the trajectory of starting from this place of living in your car, and she joined you, to now this extraordinary life you're living, and you've got a studio in your house, and you're you've got this amazing wife, and you're building these memories. Like,
feels like a movie.
Yes, but that also takes like a lot of communication through that growth to be able to make sure, like, are we good? Are we still on the same page?
Are you a therapist?
No, but I'm just thinking of like,
this is really nice. I like that. I this couch is getting really comfy.
You're sinking in farther and farther.
Water and some great refreshments.
But you know what I mean? Like,
you got anything next week?
Yeah, nice. We'll be back here same time next week. But you know what I mean? Like, the growth has been amazing on paper, but like, that's a lot to handle as an individual and as a couple. So like, kudos to you guys that you guys have been able to stay so connected while the thing is growing so large.
Dude, it's been really cool. Like, we literally go like, can you believe? Like, we bought our first house not too long ago, and
congratulations.
I remember we stood in front of it, and I was holding her, and I was like, can you fucking believe this, dude? Like, it was I wish I could relive that moment every time, or at least show Cover and Alex 5 years ago, 6 years ago, or whenever it was. Like, I was like, how nuts is this? Like, this is our fence. Like, we were looking at the weird inanimate things that no one thinks about. Like, honey, look, this brick. Like, we went around the house and I was like, that brick right there, that brick in between all the 500 other bricks, that brick is ours.
You're grateful.
Dude, it's so cool. And it's been so nice too. Cause like Cover and I, especially during the whatever times, like we were so easy. We're so easy to please because we slept on floors and whatever the fuck. And so it's so nice. And it's really nice is when I start to get a little bougie, or when she gets a little bougie, I'm like, Cover. And she's like, you're so right. You're so right. I'm like, that was kind of fucked.
It's like finding the balance of being like, we deserve this and let's enjoy
my God,
it.
it's the best. Because that's our arguments. That's always our arguments. I was like, Cover. She goes, but we deserve it. I go, that's a little stupid.
Where you have to have like a barometer.
It's
like,
awesome.
Are we pushing it too much?
My wife and I only argue about one thing, and it's fucking children name and a rug. And who's supposed to pay for the rug?
Rugs are so sneaky expensive.
Bro, thousands of dollars for rugs.
Thousands.
What is that? I'm rugless right now because the principle is I don't want to pay that much for a rug.
Okay, wait. Kid names. So who has the crazier kid names? Like, are you more chill with them, or is she going more chill and you're going crazy?
I think it's like taming it a little bit. Like, she's a little bit like, oh, well, this is really cool. And I'm like, sweetheart, but you don't want to be that, like, the couple that does that. Like, okay. I think there's originality, but there's also like, I really like that name. And she's like, if you tell anyone our fucking names that we've come up with, I'm going to murder you and your children will be fatherless. And I said, look, I don't want to do that to them. It's been
she's
a whole...
like keeping them, but then you're also like, I know, but babe, like, no one's going to name their kids these names. So
she is gatekeeping that notes app. It's got a lock on it and it's hidden and it's titled something fully fucking completely different. She is so protective of her kid names.
Honestly, respect. I've seen a lot of women online be like, I can now tell you all the extra kid names I have now that I've named my kid.
Yeah, and some of them are like Sephora.
Yeah.
And like bicyclette. Like, it's kind of
Okay,
like...
so you're not naming your kid Bicyclette?
No, but maybe.
Okay.
I did. That was right off the dome, and I'm
It sounds gorgeous.
Bice is a really great nickname that I've been thinking.
What songs is your wife's current favorite?
My wife literally just plays a rotation of Taylor Swift. Like, that.
No, your song.
Oh, I think so. My wife. Sorry, I've been so obsessed with talking about my wife.
What are your wife's favorite songs of yours? Although we love Taylor.
Oh.
Wait, what's her favorite Taylor album? Do you know
Folklore.
this? Folklore. Oh,
for sure.
Love
I hope
her.
that's right, but she always talks about Folklore.
Do you know what her favorite song is of Taylor?
No, but she's always singing "Long Live Every Step That I Take." She loves that one.
The light shine just for me and you.
Yeah, that. But
your songs.
Her favorite of my songs. She is obsessed with one called "Only Thing Left," which is a breakup song, funny enough.
Okay.
I wrote for a show.
Okay.
I'm like, out of all the love songs, you love that one. She loves like the ones you would never expect.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Airbnb. Okay, I think many of you know by now that Matt and I are both so passionate about building our company together. And I love that about us, but it does mean that we'll, get wrapped up at the office and then we'll accidentally keep the meeting going sometimes when we get home. So for Valentine's Day this year, I really wanted to do something that would allow us to leave work behind and just reconnect with each other. I thought of the most romantic place that I could that wasn't too far, and I booked the cutest cottage in Santa Barbara on Airbnb for us. When I tell you this place was so perfect. We had ocean views, a huge claw bathtub, cozy little reading corners everywhere. I felt like we were in Italy, honestly. The first night we left our phones at home and we walked on the beach before dinner to catch the sunset. And you guys, the pasta that we had after was beyond life-changing. The next day we also drove out to a winery for a tasting. We brought a bottle back home and we sat by the fireplace talking for hours. And of course, there was a little backyard for Henry and Bruce to run around. So literally everyone was thriving in the family. Booking this trip through Airbnb really allowed us to slow down and reset, but also gave us the privacy to just be with each other. If you are looking ahead at 2026 and thinking of traveling, start with Airbnb. Obviously, there's flights to book and PTO to request, but finding the right place to stay, that's what sets the whole tone for the trip. On Airbnb, you'll find spots with the amenities, location, and size that you're looking for. Your next great trip starts with a great place to stay, whether it's a large cabin in the mountains or a cozy loft downtown. Airbnb has a space for your travel story. Listen, Daddy Gang, winter is here. I know it's freezing out there, and I know the sun is setting insanely early, but hear me out. Just because we have to throw a couple extra layers on doesn't mean we can't still enjoy ourselves, right? And that includes finding some time to crack a few claws with our friends. Whether you're at your favorite dive bar, warming up in the crowd at a concert, or just having friends over to, watch a football game, the best winter nights are really just about doing something together. Personally, I love getting together with my friends in the winter because it's an excuse to make every hangout even cozier. I'm talking blankets out, fuzzy socks on, and White Claws in hand. There is nothing better than sitting by a fire with your friends, catching up all night long and never leaving the house. So pick up a pack from your favorite local spot and grab life by the claw with your favorite flavor this winter. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois. You have a new single out, Fever Dream. Tell me about the writing process.
The people I work with today are the people I've always worked with. Like, I started with them and I stay with them, and so everything that I write is with them. And so this song especially, all of us are in really great relationships, and we wanted to write about this feeling of falling in love for the first time and what that is. And there's this euphoric feeling when you do, like when you see that person for the first time, and maybe you've seen that person every single day, and then the one time you start to be like, wait, I'm seeing you differently today. And if you get this weird, like, warm feeling, and you kind of like, you get their number and then they give it to you. And we wanted to kind of put that in a song.
Also, I feel like I've seen in interviews you've said like you wanted to get lightly away from some like it being all sad music.
Yes.
So this is fun.
It's fun as hell. And there's still like 9 different other sad ones that you could listen to.
Perfect. Right. You're still going to give us that.
Yeah.
But you were giving us an uplifting one too.
I just think it's really obvious when you hear a song. It's like, okay, Alex is crying again about his dad. Let's fuck off.
Okay. The cameos in the music video.
Yes.
Paris Hilton.
Crazy, right?
Can you explain how...
I'm so excited.
I know. Like, how did you get the queen?
In passing, when the Grammys thing happened, she had commented and we had, talked. And when I was thinking of this music video, especially, and we were writing it, I wanted it to not make any fucking sense. And when the whole entire music video is I'm chasing this girl that's supposedly my wife. And once I finally reach her, I get to her and it's Paris fucking Hilton, and she slaps me awake, and I'm still homeless, busking because I never met my wife. So the whole music video is just random things. We're like, what the hell is that? And then you finally get to the person, and it's a weird, like, whoa, I was not expecting that. And then it's at the end, it's like this weird, like, Shutter Island vibe where you're kind of like, wait, what? This was that the whole time?
How cool that you got Paris Hilton in a music video.
She's amazing, by the way.
She's amazing.
She's like, her reputation precedes her of like, she's quite literally just such a sweet girl.
She's incredible.
And so intelligent.
She's so
smart. So smart.
She's everything and more when you meet her, which is really cool. You've had a lot of cameos.
I have.
Like, how the hell did you get Jennifer Aniston to be in that skit?
She's the best.
I love her.
To this day, I still text her, and it's just, she's amazing. I had her boyfriend and her are really, they like the music. And Ed Sheeran had asked if he could connect me with Jen. And I was like, Jen who? But sure. And so I gave him my number, and I got a FaceTime, and it's Courtney Cox and Jennifer Aniston on the FaceTime. And I was like, holy fucking shit. This is crazy. And so I played Ordinary for them on FaceTime. And I'm still, like, to this day, I still talk to both of them. And they're just so amazing, so supportive. And I had asked her if she would be in it. And she literally, I sent her the script because I wrote it. So I wrote this script with my friend, and I was like, please,
good.
Judge this, please, as you may. She goes, it's amazing. I'll do it. And she didn't change a single thing. She loved it. And she acted in it, and she showed up. And I've worked with a lot of people, and this girl, I admire her so much just for how she walked in and just nailed it and goes, all right, later.
It was the best surprise on the internet seeing a skit with Jennifer Aniston and you. I was like, what is happening? It
So
did feel
cool.
like a fever dream at that point, because I was like, this is not making sense.
So cool.
I also love how they just like casually FaceTimed you out of nowhere.
No, I was like, what the fuck is happening? And Max Greenfield from New Girl was on I texted him and I said, would you be down to be in this? And he said, I'll be there at 3 p.m. and just randomly came. It was so cool.
Oh, you've got some good cameos.
I'm so happy about it. Like,
It's really good. So can we say, like, there's an album coming?
Yeah. 100%. I'm not Taylor Swift. No one gives a fuck.
No,
It's
Alex.
yes.
Okay, and how long have you been working on it?
A year, I think, or so. Like, it's been in the making for the last few months, but like the songs and titles and stuff have been in the making for a bit.
I heard that maybe you're gonna share something exclusive here on Call Her Daddy today.
Yeah, dude. Anything. What do you want to hear? Where's my phone?
I don't know. You're gonna play a little something.
Yes. I would love to.
Of a song.
So I can give you some backstory on this too. This is a sad song.
Okay.
My dad, before he passed away, wrote me a letter.
Okay.
And I have yet to ever read it. And so I'm reading it after this. I'm driving down to his grave and I'm going to read it to him. And I had written a song about that, of just like, he loved writing letters. And so I wrote him one, and I want to read his letter, and then I'm going to read him. I want to cry. I'm going to read him mine. And my wife, who's the best person in the world, she bought me, she found his sports car that he bought before he had us and had to sell it for cancer treatments. And she found it and bought it. And so I wrote a song kind of just like, if he had missed anything, to keep him up with it. And so we can send you the audio too, so it's better, but I'll play you it. How's that? You can start it whenever. Intros are too long these days.
No, I'm already emotional.
I wrote a letter to you last night instead of talking to the dark. So much I want to say ever since you've been away, and I don't want to skip a part. I went out and bought your old car that I wasn't old enough to drive. I didn't have your help, so I taught myself. Wish that I could take you for a ride. I miss you more, the more you miss what I'd give to hear your voice on nights like this. I miss you more, the more you miss.
I'll play the whole song.
Alex,
I don't.
this is...
Sad.
It's sad, but it's so beautiful, like that you have this outlet in this career that you're able, because so many people are going to also be able to connect with that. So
Right.
many people have lost loved ones or parents and not been able to have that final conversation they wish they could have had.
Yeah.
You were 9 when he passed.
Mhm.
So you have had a letter
Yeah.
since you were 9 years old that you never opened.
Mm-mm. I'm thinking about, I really want to have kids, and Cobra and I are going to start trying. And I don't know. I feel like there was a time and place that I'm supposed to read it.
How did you, throughout those years, decide not to open it?
I don't even know. There was no plan. It was just for me. I don't think I've ever been ready. I think like for everything I've gone through and how self-deprecating I am, I do think I'm emotionally pretty mature. And I think the one thing for me, at least, is, when I read it, I want it to mean everything to me. And I just think like right now where I am and everything I've accomplished, I think I'm proud of who I am. And I want to read that in that state.
Yeah. Did he give you this letter, or did someone give it to you that they found it, that he wrote it to you?
The day he died, it was 5:15 in the morning. My mom comes in to wake me up and says, "Time to say goodbye to your dad." And I remember walking down the steps and he was dead. And, yeah, I was sitting there just literally hitting him and just telling him to wake up. And, after that I prayed, and my mom handed all of us, cause my dad had written it, one for everyone. And I was just thinking the other day, I was like, I have no idea how I was so scared to there was a award I was accepting, and I was terrified to accept the award, and the Grammys I was scared for, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, my dad was fucking terrified. Had to be. He was dying, and he wrote these letters, and he was strong enough and fearless enough to do that. I was like, if he can do that, I can do fucking anything. And so I just remember I read it when I was 9, and I haven't read it since, and I don't remember a single fucking thing.
Are you going to play that song for him at the grave?
Yeah. I played it for him already. I played it for him when I wrote it. I went there after I wrote it, and I hadn't been to his grave in so long, and I went and I dropped to my knees and I broke down because all the graves were clean and everyone had flowers except for mine, and I was so selfish. I thought that I shouldn't go there if I wasn't ready. Needless to think that, but I went and no one took care of it. It was dirty. It was whatever. And so I spent the day and I cleaned it and I went and bought flowers and I put it in. I sat there and I was like, Dad, I'm nominated for a Grammy. And I spoke to him as if nothing ever happened. And I played him the song, and now I feel like it's really nice that I get to go down there and say hi again. And I feel like that's like what I need, at least, is just to be able to like be there and talk to him.
Your dad, oh my God, he would be so proud of you.
Hopefully, fuck.
He would.
He hated tattoos though, so I don't know.
He'll be focused on the music.
Right.
Is there anything that you, leading up to rereading this, obviously I agree, like I don't remember much at 9 years old.
Right.
Like, is there anything are you looking for anything when you read this letter that he wrote you? Are you hoping for anything to be in that letter?
I think no. I just want, I think I spent my entire life pushing away the thought of my dad because it made it easier to digest, the fact that I didn't have one. And now I'm this last year with Ordinary and everything and my life changing overnight, I feel as if I feel closer to my dad and I feel closer to my mom. I feel like I just want my dad, and I think that's the hardest part is like, I want to read this letter and feel closer to him. The other day I read a bunch of letters that he had written his best friend, and I realized I write like him and I talk like him without ever actually being around him. So I just want to be able to read that letter and feel like I have a dad again, which is sad, but also, hopefully healing.
I think it's so beautiful that you've been able to take this passion of yours and also pour so much of yourself into it. Mm-hmm. And again, I know like you've joked being like, oh my gosh, I always write about like my parents or all my situation or whatever. But like, again, like it is so relatable. These are real life things that all of us go through. And there is no solve for losing a parent. There is no happily ever after when you're grieving something and it doesn't go away in a month or a year, like it stays with you forever. But I think it's really inspiring to watch how you've been able to weave your passion and your art in a way that helps you heal, but also simultaneously is allowing other people to heal. Like for your fans who are watching this, like, is there anything you hope that they either take from that specific song or any of the songs that will come out on the album?
Yes, I want everyone, especially with grief, no one talks about it, or everyone just kind of views it as something like to like shove off. You don't want to be that person in the room. You don't, and everyone always says like, oh, it gets better and all these things. And I say this all the time, it gets manageable. It's never going to get better. You will always have that piece of you missing, and there's going to be things that you remind you of them. And it happens to me all the time, but if you start to push it away and you don't talk about it, you don't consume things about it, and you don't talk about people, you start to forget the way that they smell, the way that they look, the way that they sound. And for me, if I'm going to have kids, I want them to know who their grandparents were. And so when I write these songs, it's like logs of kind of like, this is something where, at least for me, when I went through losing someone, I had no idea what that felt like. I had this feeling of this emptiness, but I couldn't explain that feeling. There was no outlet for me to listen to it or watch it. And so when I make these songs, I'm hoping people who've lost someone can listen to that song and it allows them some sense of comfort. It's almost like a blanket to hold, but it doesn't necessarily make you warm.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's become bigger than you, which is the goal, I think, whenever you're creating art, right?
I love it when people play my song and they have no fucking idea it's me, because that means it did something. It went past whatever the fuck this is.
And it's also just been so fun to watch, I think, for so many people, like your career and the trajectory and your story. Like, we're all rooting for you. And I think it's so fun, even with the Grammy moment. It's like, it was so in Alex Warren fashion to
Right, only that would happen to me. I literally got off stage and I was like, that only happened, of course.
No, only, of course, because it's like you have been this like relatable, tangible person since day one that you've been sharing your story on the internet. And so, of course, like if something's going to go wrong, the best part is that like we all know you in a sense. So it's not like you're this like untouchable character.
Right.
You're Alex, and we all are going to like love you and cheer for you even if you mess up or something doesn't go right. But I'm so happy that I got to talk to you today because I obviously know you've had massive success, but there's again always a story underneath. And I really appreciate you opening up to me today because I think a lot of your fans and my fans are going to just be so excited to hear this conversation.
Not even a psychology degree? Nothing?
No.
That's impressive.
Stop.
That's really impressive. Thank you so much for having me. It's fucking sick.
I appreciate your time and congrats on all your success.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.